Let's break down the West. I'm not going to do a lot of talking here. Go back and listen to the other episodes. Actually, I enjoy talking about the Thunder, so I'll probably talk about the Thunder some more.
Well, we can talk about you coming around the Clippers. We can start there.
I'll let you lead it because we're talking about the West playing. We'll talk Lakers, Timberwolves, which is a really, really riveting series because of pure star power. Nuggets, Clippers. Who comes out of the West? Stupid question. All right.
Bold, Cotton, bold.
Do you want to talk about this play-in?
I mean,
actually,
the
let's talk about
Warriors are in the play-in.
Let's talk Warriors really quick. I don't want to talk about Dallas and the Kings. Nonsense. Waste of time. We don't need to talk. They're not doing anything. As Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson, how do you get up for that game? That's the only thing I would think about if I was like even looking to watch that or bet that or anything. You mean to tell me Anthony Davis and Klay and the rest of those guys are going to get up to have to win a game to potentially play the Warriors or Memphis to play the Thunder?
Yeah.
Man, they're not. I would be shocked if they even show up for that. So, I mean, I got to talk about that game.
Yeah, I
like the Kings to win in that game. But Warriors, interesting. I'm a big-time non-believer in the Memphis Grizzlies at the moment.
Same.
Tomas Isalo is implementing a new offensive system. They don't play any defense.
They got the worst chemistry in the tournament, by the way.
Yes, and coming down the stretch, they were really poor.
No togetherness.
So I think the Warriors get that done. You agree?
Oh, yeah. I'm disappointed because I had kind of felt like the Clips were going to win that game. Just went down because I live took the Warriors in that game. It felt like they were going all out to win that game. Then I'm starting to think as a Laker fan, man, do we really want the Warriors to win this game? Because it'd be great as a fan, but then it'd be more interesting to see them match up later in the playoffs. And I think as a fan, we ended up getting the better long-term Western Conference tree, which will likely get Houston Warriors. I got Warriors in that in 6 against the Pups. And we got an interesting setup here now with Lakers Wolves, which we should talk out because interesting clash of trends. Talked this out yesterday. The Lakers have shot 47% of their attempts since Luka's been on the roster from 3. And the Wolves play a top 6 3-point perimeter D, and they're a top 5 D. So that's an interesting clash of styles.
Yeah.
But you got turnover with the T-Wolves. They're an interesting club. They're 6-1 in their last 7. Only blew 1 fourth-quarter lead to the hot Bucks. I'll get your 2 cents. I'm obviously emotionally wrapped up in this as a fan, but where are you at with Lakers T-Wolves?
Yeah, it's 2 dichotomies of squads at the moment. They're big, Minnesota. Randall's going to be physical. They're going to be big inside. And they can play a little perimeter D. And the Lakers are going to be soft inside, and they're going to try to play all perimeter game. So are they going to be able to slow up Luka and Austin Reeves and then LeBron when he feels like turning it on, depending on what part of the game it is? So
does any part of Luka's performance in last year's Western Conference Finals where he took Gobert's soul
and then talked about it,
and went berserk? I think he had 30 points.
Why does everybody hate Gobert so much? What do you think the answer is to that?
I think like playground in high school or like elementary, it's like he's the tall kid, but it's like he's not that tough. He is, but it appears
soft Frenchman.
He's European.
He's French. He's not European. He's French.
It might have something to do with that press conference in 2020 of
I think
March
there's a lot
2020.
of things that like people
that could
don't
be a
like.
play.
The press conference touching all the mics for COVID. He's French.
Americans really don't like French at all.
Well, the French are, you can
do
You
the not
want
polite.
to take it back to World War II?
Ça va bien, merci et vous.
You want to take it back? They just let, you know what I'm saying? It could go back. We could talk about, that's.
Emily in Paris is a hit.
But,
But they're not European?
What?
No. But I'm saying, like, when you think of European basketball players, you're thinking of, like, guys like Luka and Jokic. Like, yes, of course, he's European, but he's also French. He's not from the Baltic area where you think of hard-nosed European hoopers.
So if Tony Parker doesn't date Eva Longoria, he's not as likely.
For example, if I say he's a European hooper, I'm not thinking about London. I'm not thinking about Wales. I'm thinking about the Baltic area of the country.
Maybe a little Spain.
Yeah, Yeah, a little Spanish. Yeah, maybe Victor, I guess, brings the French piece in. But if you talk about Victor, he's a finesse guy as well. I think the biggest thing for Rudy, too, is that everybody's like, oh, Defensive Player of the Year all the time. I give this dude 30 every time I see him.
Yeah.
So how can this dude be the Defensive Player of the Year? I literally destroy this guy all the time. Jokic destroys him.
I know.
Anthony Davis, I don't know those exact numbers. Pull those numbers up. Anthony Davis versus Rudy Gobert. But, like, you shouldn't be I think guys are like, you're the Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm, like, I'm hunting you out in matchups. So I think that's why a lot of people
he's like a frame. He's got the frame from the 90s. Like he could be D'ing up like Ostertag and Sabonis Senior and like those kind of large dudes, but those guys are so much more dog.
Yeah.
Like Gobert would be Shaq would make Gobert cry if they played against each other. Gobert would cry.
And Gobert has cried a couple times on the mic as well. He has some.
I think he is a good person from what I hear.
I think he's too good of a guy. So people want to kill him.
So Luka in that spot last year, 2 triple-doubles, averaged 32, 9, and 8, and 30-plus and 4 or 5. So looking at, obviously, that 4-1 Mavs series, it is a different stylistically club. They don't have the defense, at least in my opinion, LA doesn't, that the Mavs had last year.
LA has shown these flashes of playing really good defense, but I think at the heart and like when push comes to shove, they're an offensive team on the perimeter. And if Luka shoots 45-50% from the floor,
over,
it's a done deal for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Can Ant just like, is this one of those series where Ant really arrives and explodes?
Yeah, 27.8
I shouldn't
in the
say
playoffs.
really arrives, but you know.
Going back to the Rudy Gobert thing, Anthony Davis has had 30 plus against him 5 times. He had it 5 times as a Laker, and then as on the Pelicans, he was crushing him and had 20 and 10 regularly, including a 40-point game.
So it's just like they don't respect him 1v1. He is the anchor of a lot of really good team defenses. That's why I always thought the Victor Wembanyama for DPOY thing was interesting, because the overall Spurs defense was bottom of the league. It was terrible. And typically DPOY guys are the anchor of a team defense that's really good. That's why Gobert always gets a really good nod, because his teams are top 5 in D.
Yeah.
He's the anchor of that. So
what do you think this series comes down to outside of Luka's shooting? And how can the Timberwolves win the series? Or you think
how do they deal?
Vegas doesn't even have the Lakers at -200. It's like -180, -185.
Yeah.
So that to me,
yeah,
with
it's
home
a little
court,
tighter. And you could honestly add an additional 25 cents on the Lakers just
because of
getting
the
love
fandom.
in the market because they're the Lakers. It's probably closer to 160. Right?
Are you taking this Lakers team seriously, even past Minnesota in this tournament?
Well, the next series would be against the Thunder. So no, because I think the Thunder are the best team in the West by a wide margin. And like, let me ask you this: give me your Western Conference power rankings right now. And just to clear that up, the Lakers they wouldn't see the Thunder until the Western Conference Finals. Who is your? I'll give you mine, and then I want yours. Give me your Western Conference power rankings right now. For me, it's Thunder, Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, Rockets, Nuggets. I'm really down on the Nuggets. So I think you could flip that Warriors-Rockets. I think that's a tough matchup for
Warriors on the Rockets. I'm telling you right now.
Okay. So give me your power rankings. I got Thunder, Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, Rockets.
This is like the playoffs or energy going like
the power rankings right now for
Well, yeah, I got to
West.
give the Thunder the 1, but I don't have them. It's between Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, 2, 3, 4 for me. But those are my 2, 3, 4. I'm biased with the Lakers because I got blinders on.
Yeah.
I don't know if we know what LeBron and Luka can 0 dark 30 lock in on. So a lot of motivation for both those boys. Mickey Mouse ring in the bubble, I don't count it. It counts. I don't count it as a Laker fan. I do, but I don't. So LeBron,
because they got so much time off. I mean, the time
2 seasons. It was 2 seasons. It was ridiculous. No one's allowed.
But they won that season.
Like the Dodgers didn't win a ring till this past year. Same thing with the Rays. You beat them in a no stadium. The only like COVID thing that Brady in Tampa, but like Brady had to go to Lambeau with no fans. It was a weird year.
Yeah, for sure.
So I need the Lakers to show up and show out. But yeah, I mean, power rankings. I think the Clippers are an interesting conversation. It's the top 5D, Ty Lue club. We talked off air. Kawhi has the boys in the last 21 games, the highest offensive rating when he's on the court per 100 possessions. Is there a dark horse? Let's take the Thunder cap on for a second from your perspective because you're on the Thunder.
Let's talk about the Clippers too. Yeah.
Yeah. If there is a dark horse in the West, you're leaning LAC.
Yes, without question. I'm very high on the Clippers. I was maybe a year early last year. I was high on them last year at the break. Coming down the stretch,
Had to get Paul George out of there.
Extremely, yeah. James Harden looks extremely comfortable and like he could play, and is set to have really good I know he's been awful in the postseason. Maybe it's that Rory McIlroy time where he just gets the monkey off his back and just goes ballistic in the playoffs because he's got a lot of help. The way the team is designed, it fits really well.
I know. They
have a guy that'll handle the rock in James all night. He could literally handle the ball every possession for 48 straight minutes.
It works so great, right? Because Kawhi's a rare scorer that doesn't need the ball.
Yeah.
So many of these dudes need the ball.
Really quick, before we get to the Clippers, one last thing on Lakers-Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are in trouble if they're in close games down the stretch because they have a really hard time closing games. You go throughout the entire year, they've had a hard time closing games. And then in the fourth quarter, on possession-by-possession basis, you're going to have to deal with either LeBron or Luka, deferring to Austin Reeves. That's really tough to deal with. That's where they would have to get out and be in the lead heavy in a lot of these games to win it. If they have to close out close games, the edge tilts to the Lakers in a lot of ways.
So offense edges out the defense in this series by a little.
Yeah,
I mean, so. Ant never hit 30 this year in 4 dances against L.A. As decorated of a scorer he is, he hasn't scored. I mean, Redick's detail. I mean, we're coming off Malone getting fired saying my boys don't watch film. I know Redick does not allow those guys. Like, Redick was so detail-oriented in his mind-the-game pod with Braun that he's like, all right, this guy can be a head coach because his ability to study film. So those tiny details that I think his staff is going to bring is what I think isn't being talked about enough because they did have that stretch once they got Luka of some defensive intensity. But, yeah, jumping over, one of your thoughts more on the Clippers and your Warriors take because I don't think we should be sleeping on the Warriors either. Now, if Steph's banged up, they're done. But any thoughts there, too?
Yeah, to go back to what I was saying about the Clippers, I think their roster construction is top-notch. I mean, it's James Harden handling the rock, Chris Dunn as a perimeter stopper in the starting lineup. Ivica Zubac is playing his best ball. He's also a defensive stopper, and offensively has been great.
Underrated passer.
Then Kawhi comes on, and then you got two guys that can really focus on offense. Norm and Kawhi. And then they're bringing Bogdanovich off the bench who can shoot it. Amir Coffey is not nothing. He can impact. Derrick Jones Jr. is another guy that'll play defense.
Two-way, yeah.
They got a really
championship coach, championship star.
Yeah, Ty Lue can make adjustments.
This runs on Harden, isn't it? Because we know Kawhi will give you Kawhi playoff numbers.
You know what tilts like the NBA altogether is like in playoff series, are your guys that shoot 35% from 3, are they going to shoot 42? So if Chris Dunn is knocking down threes, if Derrick Jones Jr. is knocking down threes like he did last year in Dallas versus the Thunder, they're a really difficult team to beat. If Josh Hart's going to shoot 43% from 3,
right,
you got an issue.
Now, where are you at with Denver in the first round against LA?
I'm so down on Denver, man. Everything coming out of Denver for me is a nightmare.
Is it head-scratching to you?
Jamal Murray pops up the last couple games of the year. He's been hurt. He plays now. People are telling me that playoff Jamal Murray is going to be ready to go. I don't believe that.
Well, they're bottom 10 in D right now.
It's
not good.
They're all offense.
At home.
They're all offense that try to make an impact. Teams that really compete in the NBA in the playoffs are usually top 10 in both units. In a perfect world, you want them top 6, top 7 in both units.
Where else have we seen this, Sean? You got their core 4 from the ring when they just routed the Heat.
Yeah.
And and you add Christian Brown, and Pickett's off the bench. There's a couple of young guys.
Well, Brown was on that team.
But the point, Bruce, right? Not Christian. Is Christian Brown on that team?
Christian Brown was on that team.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
No,
Or 2 years ago,
title
sorry.
team.
The title team.
Yeah, Christian Brown was on that team.
Off
Bruce
the bench,
Brown was
though,
on
yeah.
that team. Yeah, Christian Brown played a lot of really good defense on that championship team in big spots.
He was
So
a rookie
there.
that year. That was his rookie.
Bruce Brown was there. Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
I guess I'm getting at is what happened to this core four? Is it Murray hurt, Gordon's older,
They're
and
still
that's
there.
it?
They're still there.
Because we are I don't think anyone's talking about Denver, but who else in this tournament has a championship core that's been there and done that?
And the best player in the NBA.
And the best player.
So
Like it's a not a coin flip, but they're
not
still
many,
laying juice.
But we're talking about murderers row in the West, man. The Clippers are playing the best ball maybe in the NBA at the moment. You could put them up against anybody, I think, and they would have a real good shot to compete. Okay, let me ask you this. Is Denver playing better ball than Houston?
Of course not.
Is Denver playing better ball than the Thunder?
No.
Is Denver playing better ball than the Clippers?
No.
Is Denver playing better ball than the Lakers?
No.
Okay, so they can't compete with any of these teams that are at the top real six in the
I
NBA.
I guess I bring it up to see if there's a championship playoff switch to turn on. But with no coach,
maybe.
it makes it very, very difficult.
Maybe, but
It's an internal locker room.
I can't back a team with confidence that needs to flip a switch they haven't had on all year. And Russell Westbrook is getting tons of minutes, and Christian Brown is being asked to do things he really can't, and they're not very deep.
They're going to blow this up when they get routed by the Clippers in 6? It's got to be considered.
That's a question for Jokic.
Yeah.
If Jokic wants to, it'd be awesome to see Jokic try to get out of there and go somewhere else.
So before I get to your prediction here in the West, give me a team not named the Thunder that can take it to them.
I really believe it's the Clippers. That second round series has potential to be the winner of that series wins the West.
Wow.
I think it's the Thunder.
So
With how perimeter focused the Lakers are, if they get to the Western Conference Finals, I don't think they can deal with the ball pressure that the Thunder are going to be able to put on them with 5 guys.
you think the Lakers are tired by the time they get to that series?
Yes.
It's a fair take. Something I think
Luke,
about.
I think Luke is tired by the time he gets to the fourth quarter. And that's been the case.
Let's go.
Like if you look at the finals, he's dead dog tired. And that's also the thing about the playoff run and the experience. There's not very many guys in the league that have played 82 games and then played playoff basketball in June.
Mm-hmm.
All these guys are usually done in April or May. Now I have to go full tilt, and I'm playing until June. It's different gravy when we're talking about body and conditioning, and that's what happened to Luka last year. He wasn't that good in the finals. He emptied the tank to get to the finals and had nothing left against a really good, you could almost see the body language when he would see Derek White on the wing. It's like, or Drew Holiday. It's like, man.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen when he sees Lou Dort. It's going to be like, dude, take this, man. Here, LeBron. Third quarter, Lou Dort's been in my face for 30 minutes. So it's tough.
I just love LeBron against this Thunder core has been solid as a Laker, and Luka wrapped these boys up to go in the second round last year. So I'm out the West with the Lakers doing my annual at this point.
Knicks Lakers in the finals?
Annual Knicks Lakers.
That'd be awesome.
To round out my 4th year here, how do I not go Knicks Lakers and go down with a clean Gryffindor Hogwarts sweep here, 0-4? Or I'm buying a summer spot on the Jersey Shore if this comes through. Maybe a side of Barca Champions League.
I'm going to go with a fully healthy Oklahoma City Thunder team that has been whooping everybody's all year long. The good teams, the bad teams, the teams in the middle. They have been nails all year long, and
I can't wait for SGA
environment,
to not get a playoff whistle. I can't wait.
That environment in Oklahoma City is going to be really tough to play in, and SGA, even if it ticks down a little bit, he's still going to get to the line 6 times a game.
We're going to find out if SGA just wanted that Joel Embiid MVP or he really wants greatness. We'll find out real soon. But Lakers for me, Thunder for Sean, Western Conference. Juice Bar.
Juice Bar, MSG Network. If you want the realness, the straight takes, come hang out with us. We go through everything from narratives to actual gameplay to breaking down numbers in the betting market. Alex Monaco, Sean Little, come hang out with us. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can get the Juice Bar.